Okay.
The intro audio is good.
Yeah, the intro audio was good before. Okay, guys, let us know how it is now. So hopefully we fixed that problem. Not your fault, Jason. I blame Frank.
Oh,
I'm good with that.
And they can't hear me right now.
They can hear you.
No.
They can hear you.
Okay.
They can hear you. They can't
It
see
was
you yet.
totally Jason.
Oh no, that was totally you, man. I'm going to I blame Smoking Ape. I blame Big Pharma. Much better. Steve says, okay, 5'9", good audio, all good. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, you know what? It happens, and I don't, this is why we are not professionals. This is why we are amateurs. So I'm all good.
Everyone, blame Frank.
Blame Frank. Blame Frank. All right, guys. That's what you get when you mixed Ham Radio 2.0 100 watts and wire. Oh, okay. All right, guys. Let's try this again. Ham Radio 2.0. Thanks for joining us tonight. I've got Frank. You're on now too. We're going to be talking to Christian K0STH here in just a minute. Going to bring him on. He's in the waiting room of our Zoom chat. So he's been gracious enough to join us tonight. Going to talk about his podcast and his new YouTube channel, which is linked in the description below. He can tell you all about that. But be sure and check that out as well. YouTube did something kind of cruel to me today. I think it was today. Yeah. So basically what happened was Thursday, I was around 49,600-ish viewers. And this was Thursday evening sometime. I was kind of doing some stuff online. We did Thursday Night Ham Radio, and I was responding to some emails or to some comments on some different videos. And then I went to bed, and I got up Friday morning, and my subscriptions had jumped by like 700 or 800 subs. They went from like 49,600 on Thursday night to 50,004 on, I think 50,004, somewhere in there on Friday morning. And I'm like, whoa, what happened? Okay, you get to 50 and all of a sudden, boom, it explodes. And I was real happy. I'm like, great, cool. We got to 50 before this weekend. That's what I wanted to happen. I was hoping to get here by Sunday. Planning to do this anyway, but it's cool. I was happy. Good. Well, as that day went by, the count went up a little bit more. And then it was around something like 50,700 on Friday night when I went to bed. So it had gone up like 1,000 in the last 24 hours prior to that. Got up Saturday morning to do my live stream of the general class from the North Richland Hills Amateur Radio Club, and the subs had dropped by like 400. It was back down to like 50,400 from like 50,750. I'm like, that's weird. Sometimes YouTube will do stuff like that. They'll go through and they'll purge accounts that are like maybe spam accounts or closed accounts or something like that. Usually they tell you about it, but sometimes it kind of, I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of weird like that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. It dropped by a few hundred. And then it continued throughout the course of Saturday, continued going up at what I would call a normal pace. And then this morning I wake up and I'm back down to 49,700. And I'm like, what in the world? So it's like everything that happened Thursday night and Friday is gone. It's like it didn't, like those 2 days don't exist. I'm back today. We're at 30,000 or 49,825, 835, somewhere in there. And I don't know what it did. It just totally kind of went weird. Yeah, 49,800 subscribers on my end for some reason. Close enough. Yeah. So thanks, Mike. Yeah. So whatever happened, I don't know. We're close enough. We're gonna do what I'd already planned to do, and we're gonna do a big giveaway. We're gonna do an announcement about that giveaway later on in the show. Want to get Christian to come in and talk about his channel first. We're not gonna do the giveaway tonight. We're gonna announce the giveaway tonight. I'm gonna give away a radio, a couple of Nano VNAs, a Tornado Alert, and some ICOM swag. Ooh. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But the drawing for that's not going to be until 2 weeks. My next live stream 2 weeks from tonight is when that drawing will be. So you'll have 2 weeks to be entered for the giveaway. So nobody's going to miss out on anything. We got plenty of time, and just want to make sure everything's covered there. So, all right.
Daniel said COVID got him.
COVID got him. Yeah, it could be.
YouTube cursed the accounts.
I guess. Yeah. So, okay, Frank is going to be like we have done for the last month or so. Super chats tonight. Everybody who donates a super chat tonight of any amount, doesn't matter, will be entered for a drawing for a T-shirt. Look at this. I got the Ham Harder T-shirt on today.
Ooh, I want that one.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to get you one of these. QRO Ham Harder. This was designed by Dan Burek, and he sent me the image. He's like, hey, can you make this? I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Brainchild of Mike K. DeMardi, but Dan designed this, and now it's on shop.hamradio2.com. So everyone tonight who donates a super chat of any amount will be entered into a drawing to win any T-shirt you want from shop.hamradio2.com. We'll make that drawing at the very end of the stream. And I've done that the last 3 or 4 streams, and people seem to enjoy it. So, and I sure like having that participation and getting some exposure on the merchandise side. So, but good deal. But Frank's gonna be writing down all those too.
Michael asks, do your shirts on the Ham Radio site come in 3X?
Yeah, I got them up to 4X.
Sweet.
Yeah. If there's anything color-wise or size-wise that you don't see in any style, I can add it. So if there's something on there you're like, man, I wish that he had that shirt in that size or that color, as long as the color will go with the logo color, the shirt color go with the logo color, then we can pretty much do anything. So email me through the site. I'll be happy to add it for you. So there you go. Don Izzo, Ham Harder. Don, N5SKD, I already won one. Yeah, but up to you, buddy. It's up to you. So you're welcome to be entered and pass on it. I've had several people say, no, just great job. Thanks for keep the super chat. Thanks for doing what you do. So I gave their T-shirt to somebody else. So it worked out. But Don, you're here all the time, man. So don't feel obligated or anything. But
Kenneth, thank you for subscribing today.
Yeah. Yes, Kenneth, thank you for subscribing. Okay, Frank, I'm going to kick you out and bring Christian in. We're going to get started here.
All right. I just enjoy this beer.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Sir Williams from Hoppenstein.
Oh, yeah.
This is their English-style brown ale.
Okay.
I really like it. It's very smooth.
Your video is backwards, Frank. I just now realized that.
Backwards?
Yeah. Yeah, like the words in your shirt are backwards. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, work on that.
You know what? I noticed that.
Today is the day of utter mess ups. I mean, we are amateurs. This is why we're amateurs.
I wonder, is it because the camera is upside down and I inverted it?
Could be. I don't know.
Now
it's probably setting in OBS. Green. So be sure you get those super chats in there. So
yes, I got them all.
Okay. All right, man. I'm gonna bring Christian in, and we'll catch you here in a minute.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Frank.
No problem.
All right. There's that. And put in waiting room. Hey, Christian.
Hey.
How are you tonight, sir?
Good, man.
Good.
You know, I was getting a little worried about the subscriber count because, oh man, is it me? This could be me. If it makes you feel better, you actually lost more than I have.
I don't know if that makes me feel good or not. But okay. That's one way to look at it, I guess.
It's quite an accomplishment. I think when we first met,
mm-hmm.
I remember you were around 13,000 and 18,000. And then I think we in person at, maybe it was 2018 at Dayton.
I think that's when it was. I think it was 2 years ago.
And you've just gone through the roof. Yeah. It's great. You're pulling people up. It's nice to see.
It's been fun. It's been a fun ride. So really fun. I enjoyed the audience interaction. I enjoyed getting my hands on new toys and doing new stuff with new radios, and I enjoy meeting folks like yourself. So real quick, for those who don't know, this is Christian, K0STH. And somebody said one of your intros on one of your recent podcasts, you had an acronym for STH, and I thought that's great, and then I forgot what it was. I can't remember what it was now.
There's a few of them. There's Shake Mouse. There's Stairway to Heaven.
That's it. Stairway to Heaven. That's what I was like, awesome.
Fun. Yeah, you know, there's a time and place to use them. I don't really use them that much, but on the show, I'll play around a little bit.
Yeah. On the show. Okay, cool. So introduce yourself. Tell everyone what you do. This is Christian from 100 Watts in a Wire. It was an audio podcast that's expanded elsewhere. And those who may not listen to audio stuff, he's got one of the oldest podcasts that's out there. It's definitely one of the most popular ones. So please feel free. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks for that. Well, I guess I don't know how much time we have, and maybe you did want to drink tonight, but
yeah,
15 around that time period. I think you were making you were doing videos back then. Josh was doing videos, and he was teaching me about different kind of radios to take on the road. You know, that's how I look around for YouTube. But I had done some video work with Ham Nation, and I was introducing newer hams, you know, on that show, which is kind of, how do I say it politely? They've got an older audience.
Yes.
I was being in newer hams, and at the time I was new to HF. So, and I had met Bob. Bob's a local around here.
Oh,
and,
okay.
you know, we had connected, and he was kind of Elmering me through some things. I had been licensed in 2012, finally got on HF around 2015. Anyway, I meet up with him. I'm doing some videos. I'm introducing some cool people on Ham Nation. And behind the scenes, I felt like I was leaning on him and probably two other people way too much, because it was, you know, I passed the test, and at the time I was a general, went on to, you know, get the extra class. But I felt like everything that was happening off book was happening in my life. I had studied and passed, and then all the practical stuff sort of starts to happen. And I was leaning on a few guys, I thought, just way too much. And I remember getting a call from Ray Novak from ICOM, and he said, "Have you ever thought about doing your own show?" And I've been doing broadcast stuff for 30 years, not, you know, 25 maybe at the time. And I was like, yeah, but I kind of need some help. You know, everything was so new. And he was in. He said, "Whatever you want to do, I'm in." And I was like, okay. And just came up with what it was going to be and started slowly. And that's kind of how it launched, as a way to, the one thing I admire about your show is you actually know what you're doing. For me, I was seeking. I was playing the role of the seeker, and how do you do this? How do you, I mean, simple things that I look at now, building a cable, how to read your antenna analyzer, you know, the things that we look for when we just get to HF. How do you build a dipole? So my role was to play the seeker and talk to people like yourself and others, K3LR, about tower safety, or so that was my role. I would talk to people, and kind of it grew from there, and it took a while. The landscape was a lot different then too. And you know, this jump to video, you know, I thought about it before, and all you guys, like the hay or the horses are out of the barn. Like, I'm so late to the dance. It's ridiculous. But streaming is so fun.
Yeah.
I don't have to really do a lot of video editing. I've made documentaries and all sorts of things in my career. I've done editing on a lot of documentaries. I just don't enjoy video editing as much. And somebody said, "Well, why don't you just stream it? You can capture, pull the audio." And then it was a question of, all right, then it has to be quality. It has to look okay. You know, there's really good stuff out there. And stop me if I go too long, Jason.
No, you're good. You're good.
Too long. I was a little worried that the quality, you know, there's a lot of subpar quality, not ham related necessarily, but just on YouTube. And it's the tune out thing, man. You know, you're just like, good exists on YouTube, and I wasn't there. I didn't have what I needed. And I waited and I waited and I waited. And then about a month ago, I said, let's do it, and we'll stream, and we'll see where we go. And so we're doing it. And we just, you know, and the show is still me playing the role of the seeker, you know, talking to people who actually know what they're doing. And I'm curious. So there's shows with me going out to the antenna garden, what I call it, all wire and oak trees type of stuff. stuff comes down, it pulls it out, I've got to fix it, and I take you along
Mm-hmm.
with me
Mm-hmm.
on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really, I just thought, and the community that built up around it was, I'm going to the well too much. I'm asking Heil way too many questions. And he was gracious. He wasn't,
Yeah.
but, I'm like 2 or 3 guys, and I'm like, you're going to wear out your welcome. You need somewhere to go
Mm-hmm.
to ask questions. And that's kind of how it developed. And it
Mhm.
just kept growing, from that point, because I can't teach people. I'm the one that needs the teaching.
Right. Right.
I've learned some things in 5 years now that I can help others. But, that's kind of been what it is. I like to ask questions. Does that help?
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. You know what? And I've said this on my show before. I feel like I have learned more by making videos than I have taught. Because a lot of the stuff, they're like, oh, you said, well, you always know what you're doing. Well, not really, because I have got on here 100 times and been like, I really want to make a video that shows how to do this, but I don't know how to do that. So I'll go learn it. So it's been a challenge for me, a good challenge for me to go out and learn stuff. And then I'll go do, and the coolest part, I think, is I'll learn how to do something, and then I'll do a video of it, and I'll say, okay, here's how you do this, here's how you do this, program this radio, do this with this radio, something like that. And then people will come along and thank me, but then someone will come along and say, oh, hey, you didn't talk about this, this, and this. Did you know you could do this? And I'm like, no, I didn't. So I learned even more now. So I learned something. I taught the audience. The audience came back and taught me even more than I already knew. So it's very cyclical that way, and it's a community of everyone helping everyone. So I think that's great. Bob Heil's a good dude. I've talked to him on the phone once or twice. He acts like he's one of those guys where he walks up to you at Hamvention and shakes your hand and acts like he knows you. I don't think he actually has put 2 and 2 together about who I am, even though I've met him a couple of times. But he called me one time because I was reviewing his PROS system, his parametric radio audio system, and he called me and he walked me through. He's like, do this, do this, do this, do this, and I'm like, cool. So I just basically regurgitated on my video what he had told me to say, which was fun.
He really knows his stuff. I've
Yeah.
got to. I mean, as an audio guy, as a radio guy, I'm used to being on this side of the microphone. So, and it goes back to the mid 70s. My father was a CB guy, and I never looked down on the CBers. I just think radio is radio, and
Right.
they take a lot of heat, man, for being a CBer. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But my father was a CBer, and he was interested in it, but he was way too busy with a young family, which I can relate to. He didn't get into the amateur radio side, but he had a big quad on the roof. He would key up his D104 on the CB and the lights would flicker, some grounding issue, I'm sure.
Yeah. Hear that.
Planted a seed in me, and I went into broadcast radio. And then 2012, I started wanting to know how the other side of this thing worked. How does an antenna work? And then I got, my license, and that sort of plunged me into it. And HF is just so cool to me. I just love it. It's just so cool.
I love it too. I think that's I was a technician for 17, 18 years before I got my upgraded general. And when I got my upgraded general, that was in like February or March. And that following June, I went to field day, and I'm like, why did it take me so long to do this? And now I've been on DXpedition like 3 times, and I've done field day and winter field day and a bunch of contesting. I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have done this such a long time ago. I love the VHF and UHF stuff. I do. I love the digital voice modes like DMR and Fusion, but HF is.
It took me 3 years just to get an HF station together.
Yeah.
And so I was licensed 2012. By 2015, I was like, I want to do this, but I was cool with 2 meters. That's all I could do.
Yeah.
Actually, I jumped with 2 meters. I was doing D-Star, and I bought my rig depending on how far can I reach with a, just a HT. Well, you can do D-Star. And I'm like, cool, I'll do that. But frankly, at the time, man, I had a hard time putting any money aside with kids at the time, just 1, now 2. And I got an old ham, sorry, buddy, an older ham in Ohio. who was 90-some% all Drake.
Oh,
And
okay.
because he knew the Drake family, I wish they still made the Drake radios.
Yeah.
They're just so cool.
Yeah.
He sold me one for $600
Mm-hmm.
before I even really knew how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a conversation I had with Heil, and he was like, if it's not 100%, don't buy it. And I was like, dude, you don't see these things come up.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You don't see a Drake TR7 come up much. So it's not 100% perfect, but she sure is beautiful, man. It's a cool radio. I wish they still made those. He did a lot of good for the neighborhoods and playgrounds. I understand Mr. Drake was a nice man, family man, and anyway, that's all. I got to meet him. He passed before our time, but man, he made some quality radios.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
And then the 7300 comes along.
Yeah.
First century and waterfall
changes everything. Yeah.
I need to turn the Drake on more. She looks at me and is like, today? And I'm like,
right.
I think I'll ever sell it. I don't know if you have a radio like that. There's some radios and things I see and they pass through and I could probably, but I'll never sell that first HF radio, man. It's just, I say that now, but I just can't imagine a day.
My first HF radio was actually an ICOM IC706 Mark II, and it was not the 2G, it was the Mark II. It was the one with just 2-meter roll mode, and I bought it because I thought that was the cool. I remember that when that radio came out, and I didn't have money at the time, and at the time I wasn't a general at the time anyway. But I was just like, man, I just wanted it for the 2-meter sideband is what I wanted it for when it originally came out. So I kind of did this in and out thing with ham radio for like the first 10 years out of license. So finally, when I got back into it this last time, I went and I found one on, I think it was swap.qth, and I bought that. And I ended up selling it because about a year later, I found a Mark II-G, which included the 70 centimeter all mode. And I still have that radio. And that's the first 2 times I went on DXpedition. First several years I did field day. That's the radio I use. I still have that radio. But as far as vintage stuff, I have a pair of Kenwood 599 twins, and that I don't have hooked up right now. They're in the garage. They're going to go right there on that shelf. And then I've got a Yaesu FT101EE, and that's about as old of the Kenwoods are a bit older. I think they're mid to late 60s.
And Yaesu is amazing.
Man. Yeah, those Yaesus.
One of those at the Hamvention one year, and it didn't do 20 meters, and I was so dumb. And I hear that it's a really easy fix. There was something wrong with it that could be fixed, and it was just the guy wanted $200 for it. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful radio.
Yeah.
And I was like, it doesn't do 20 meters. No deal, because I'm not handy enough to crack it open and figure it out. You know, I kind of did it at the time to really work out for me. But and the old Kenwoods, I mean, I really wish, I don't know if they're a sponsor of your show. They're not on my show, and Yaesu's not either. I wish they would all be, frankly.
Yeah.
But I can't afford the Kenwood that they put out, but I really wish they could make a push back, because growing up, I mean, that was the brand that you wanted to have play your Black Sabbath records or your Kiss records, man.
That's
I mean, Kenwood, and that was it. So I kind of wish they were a little round more.
Right.
But the new radio they put out, I just can't. Baby's got to eat, Jason.
That's right. That's right. Well, those Kenwoods, they don't have anything bottom of the line right now. They have all their stuff is like high tier, top tier stuff, which they're good radios, but they don't have anything like that right now. So
you're a Flex guy, right? You like Flex? Yeah,
Flex is my go-to right now. I've got 2 or 3 ICOMs. I've got a 7700, and I do my parks on the air stuff with a 7300.
Me too.
But most of the stuff I do at home is the Flex radio right now.
Do people give you a hard time because of the computer-based aspects of Flex? You know what I mean? When it first kind of came out, it seemed like people were, you know how people are.
Yeah.
But do you beef about being a Flex guy?
I guess a little bit. You know, kind of. Most of the people who watch my channel know, because a lot of them are new hams, and a lot of them are new to HF hams, and you know, they're interested in the SDR stuff. The only time I've ever caught any lip over that is like from old school,
Right.
had to learn Morse code, was a novice for 30 years, you know, ham
Sure.
radio guys. Nothing wrong with those dudes, you know, and they like their tried and true solid, or not solid state, but tube driven stuff, and that's fine. There's room for that too. But yeah, the flex, I haven't really had much lip over it. People seem to really like it. I find that most people who try it figure out that they like it.
They
So
sound great.
they they do.
Just sound
Yeah.
great. As
Yeah.
an audio guy, they just sound tremendous.
For sure. All right, man. So tell us about speaking of HF. You got an event coming up next weekend.
Yeah, twice
So-
a year, we do an operating event. Once in the spring,
Mhm.
we call that tune-up, and it happens usually a couple weeks before field day, and
Okay.
and we do that. There's a reason it came about. I love field day. I think it's great, but I try to get out in the field or a park or wherever I can go, and I found myself the first year on HF not being able to hold the frequency. I probably had 87 to 95 watts coming out of my rig, and the big guys are just ramming it. I was like, okay, I guess I got a new thing here. I'm gonna pounce. I'm gonna do the pounce. And I thought it'd be cool to level the playing field, maybe off of field day. And, you know, maybe you're building an antenna. A lot of people are with clubs and they, you know, they may have a role. Maybe you're operating from 10 p.m. to 2 in the morning, or maybe you're doing sideband, or maybe you're putting the antenna in the tree, but we're not going to use your antenna. This is an opportunity really to just get out and play with the things that you've been working on. So we do it twice a year. In the fallout, we start Thursday night, 7 o'clock, which is technically, you know, 0000 UTC Friday morning.
Okay.
So the 9th through the 11th, any band, any mode, any time, you can get on the air and just make some contacts. And I'm figuring this is just a really good excuse to get out.
Yeah.
Jason, it's just, you can put this on your calendar and go out there and play. And we do a random drawing, and this time around, and we can talk about this too if you want. I've got one of these Zygoos that you guys have all been beaten up on.
Yeah.
Because I've seen everybody. Well, MFJ is going to give one away. I've been trying to take it out in the field and beat it up a little bit. But this time around, we actually have a full portable station. We got the radio. LDG is going to give away an end-fed antenna with balance, unins. We've got 50 feet of coax. We've got solar panel from power from solar bio-NO battery. So, and all I ask is that you make 25 contact. You know, it's not a contest, but at least do that. At least play along to make enough contacts to qualify. One is kind of lame, and you see, you know, people are like, "Yep, play it around. Here's my entry. One contact. Propagation was bad. Sorry." So there is just give me 25 contacts and then get in there and then maybe win. But it's, you know, any band, any mode, any time.
Cool.
You don't need a 100-watt ID. We've got several thousand of those floating around, and we use them on our net. You know, we pass them around, and we do that. Like if you work a 100-watt station, it's worth 2 points.
Okay.
So, you know, it is a little game more than it is a contest. But
Yeah.
and the offer stands to you and the rest of the big boys on the YouTube. If you want to play that weekend, we'll make you a bonus station worth 5 points, and it gives people something to chase.
Yeah.
You know. And if you go to the website, may I mention the website?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
If you go to 100wattsandwire.com and click on the operating events tab, you can read all about it there.
Okay.
And you can see what the prizes are, where they come from, how to register for a 100-watt ID. That's in the gathering tab. Everything's free. And it's just a chance to get out before it gets real cold. I love to operate portable, but I have to say, when it hits a certain temperature, man, it's when it's in the 40s and windy through the Midwest.
Yeah.
Less and less, you know, I'm inclined to get out. So it's like a good marker for me to do it and maybe stay inside and cable manage in my shack or do something else, you know.
I was on Tom W5KUB's show one time, and they were talking about they were talking about winter field day, and some of these guys from, I don't remember who it was. It wasn't Tom. It was one or two of his guests were on there, and they were up in the northeastern New England area, I think, or somewhere up north in Minnesota, maybe. I can't remember exactly where they were, but they were wanting to try winter field day because they said, yeah, field day's fun, but it's not really a test of your equipment because the weather's so pleasant. And I'm like, Boy, have you guys never done field day in Texas? It's like 110 degrees in June in Texas in field day. I'm like, winter field day, it's like it could be anywhere from like 35 to 75 because the weather out here is just who knows what it's going to be. But at least it's, you're usually in long sleeves and pants in winter field day in the late January out here. But it's a lot more pleasant than field day, because field day you're out there and you're just like, okay, I drank a gallon of water last hour. I hope got these big fans blowing on your transmitter so that they don't overheat. It's like, oh my gosh. So you guys in the north up there, y'all don't y'all have challenges with winter field day. We have challenges with field day, so it really depends on where you are.
How did you do when you guys did that soda operation in California? Were you freezing? Was it like cold for you? Does your body have to be in a certain kind of, being from Texas?
No, I don't like the cold. I mean, and when I say the cold, people say, "Oh, well, you guys in Texas think that 50 degrees is cold." I was like, some people do. I don't. I don't like it if it's like 35 or cooler. But it was hot on that mountain in Pacifico outside of LA when we went out there last November. We're hiking up the mountain, we're sweating, we're drinking water. And I say it was hot. It was probably 75, 80 degrees. It was hotter than I was expecting it to be because I had long sleeves and long pants on. But as soon as we got to the top, the temperature dropped by like 20 degrees. And I'm like, oh, this feels good. So I was really, and then that night after the sun went down, it got cold. It got down to probably in the 40s. So, and we were outside sleeping in sleeping bags and tents. I slept just fine. I didn't have any problems. So yeah, and
that was one. At the time, I was a non-YouTuber, and you guys went there, and I was like, oh man, that's just what I want, because I'm a hammock guy. Like, if I'm gonna, I think I need to. I think you did a hammock, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I'm a hammock guy. I think my body would struggle on the ground, But anyway, that's just me getting older. But I'm like, I'm a hammock guy. I would love to do this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think that was one of the most compelling things across multiple channels, because all sorts of people, you and Josh and Kyle and all the others and folks I didn't even know, everybody did it, and you got to watch the perspective of that person, and that was a really cool piece. I like that.
Yeah.
Now that I'm a YouTuber, I'm going to get my invitation.
There were 3 or 4 or 5 guys there who were not YouTubers. One of the guys, Chuck, he's become a YouTuber since then.
Cool.
But yeah, it wasn't just my understanding was it wasn't just open to YouTubers, but it was fun having those different perspectives there, and everybody recorded their own video, and we all got to get together and take pictures with one another. That was kind of fun. But,
all those KX2s or KX3s.
Right. Yeah, that was a great picture, wasn't it?
That's cool.
All the Elecraft stuff. It's like, guys, we need to get Elecraft to sponsor this next time. Look at this stuff on the table here. So it was fun. That was a fun. He wants to do that again. He probably would have set up something this spring had it not been for the COVID stuff going on. So we're kind of waiting until things open back up, especially in LA County. I'm not going to go there, but it's if once the current situation lifts a little bit, we're probably going to do something like that again. Don't know where yet. We've even talked about traveling out here to like somewhere in the Midwest, like maybe like not necessarily Texas, but maybe like Colorado, Oklahoma, something like that with a different mountain range, some kind of different summit somewhere. So. But yeah, we'll that'd be fun. It'd be fun. Looking forward to trying that again.
We actually have to go south. I was getting really big. I think that was part of it too, is that you guys did that, and I was like, Summit, that's really cool, and it's kind of what we just did a live stream on Saturday, and it was like all that you couldn't leave behind. What do you take when you go portable, and it really puts you and snaps you into what do I really need to take in this rucksack up this hill. And it's a game for me. I like to pack for travel or whatever. What am I going to need? What am I forgetting? And it's a cool challenge for yourself. And then doing it with people and that all share the same interest. But I came out of your videos thinking I need to look into that. And I'm near St. Louis, just north. But all the summits are south by like 3 hours. I'm like, Okay, I think I'll
Mhm.
stick with the parks because it's just, you can't snap 6 hours of a
Yeah.
day. It's a little harder.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We don't really have summits in Texas. We do. If we go down to like Big Bend area, then and which is 6 to 7 hours from here, or maybe a
Right.
little bit farther. But we don't really have summits in Texas. Like there's a hill down the road you can walk up. Well, I'm on a summit, that kind of thing. It's pretty flat out here. So having
Mhm.
the experience of hiking it, that was my first ever. That's the only to date. That's the only soda expedition I've ever done. I have not been hiking in years, and I did fine on the hike. I thought, oh, I guess I'll see how out of shape I am, but I did okay. I didn't have a problems with the hike. I got a little bit winded, and I was waiting for one of the other guys, so I kind of held back. I said, "Oh, I'm waiting for him," and I was waiting for him because I didn't want him to be back there by himself. But some of the more experienced guys were ahead of me anyway. But that was you're right. Yeah, you kind of think you're like, okay, well, what can I afford to leave behind, or what do I not mind carrying up the hill? And it's not something I've ever experienced before because we don't really have that kind of opportunity out here.
Was there
So
anything that you were like, I should have not taken that? See, this is kind of how my show goes. See, now I've got asking you questions. Did you come
yeah.
back? I really did not need all of that. That would have been so much better.
I think probably the only thing I would say that I did not need was I brought my regular sized sleeping bag, and I
Mm.
should have got a very much more condensed and packable sleeping bag. Um, so I didn't need this big, huge, bulky, padded sleeping bag to carry in my sack. It wasn't heavy; it was just too big.
Bulky.
Yeah,
Did you
really
forget
bulky.
anything? What did you come back and go? I forgot something. I forgot that.
Well, I didn't. The hammock I used was someone else's. Um, and I was just going to sleep in the sleeping bag on the ground,
Mm.
which would have been fine, which I've done before many times, but it was kind of a little bit more rocky than I was expecting it to be. So I borrowed somebody else's hammock, and I used that. He had a tent and a hammock, so he was in his tent, and
Mm.
I used his hammock. But I think that was Sterling's hammock, and so I'd be like,
Okay.
okay, well, I need to pick up either a hammock and or a tent for myself because I just thought I would sleep on the ground, but it kind of wasn't the terrain to do that sort of thing. But I'd never been in the mountain before. But that's what you don't know until you get there, and when you get there, it's too late. So you need to be prepared for multiple contingencies, that type thing.
Yep. That's what's
So
cool about
yeah,
it. What do the people say? Your chats are flying by
yeah,
me.
they're flying by. Somebody's saying, somebody said Texas is 4 months of winter and 8 months of summer. That's probably true. Somebody said they wished 35. They were laughing at my comment about 35 degrees. They said they wish it would get that warm where he's at. You know what? It doesn't get cold in Texas, but it probably doesn't get hot where you are. Not like it does here. So it's kind of a toss up, give or take. It gets cold, during hunting season. It can get down in the mid-20s, mid to high 20s. It doesn't do that every year. Very rarely does it snow. It ices more than it snows. So it can get again cold, but we're not talking subarctic stuff down here. I mean, we don't do that down here. So anyway, but it's we're out here in June, and you walk out and you got a suntan, and in 30 seconds it takes you to walk from your front door to your car. So
Yeah,
uh,
I feel like now I'm of a certain age, like the cold just wears my hands out. I'll go
yeah.
out there and I'll do antenna work or just
Mhm.
whatever I'm doing with coax, and my hands are like, dude, like
Mhm.
you need to go back inside. You'll be okay
Yeah.
without this right now.
Yeah.
Just pulling ropes and things, but the cold beats me down harder now. So this is a good chance for me to kind of get out. This week will be a nice test,
Mhm.
and it's like like a natural cleaning, like get all your gear out, look
Mhm.
at it,
Mhm.
put it back, clean it up for the winter, and pack it away.
Yeah.
You know, my plan for it. Maybe in the field a little bit. I've got a field here at the house, and I've got an old wooden shed that I'm trying not to cheat with the old wooden shed because I can stage stuff there. Like I can kind of
Yeah.
walk to it. It's at the edge of the woods, and I can put stuff there. So I try to
Mhm.
give myself a like a task or an
Mhm.
MCOM situation,
Mhm.
like, you know, do it do it like you would really do it. Don't do it like you got a pizza there waiting and everything's already there and set up for you. I try to challenge myself with these sort of operating events.
Totally. Yeah, totally. Okay, so I looked at I got the URL to the Fallout 100 watts on wire Fallout October 9th to 11th. I'm going to drop that in the chat real quick. So this is what Christian's talking about. And you guys can go out there and look at that, and we can operate from home, go out to a park, whatever you want to do, I guess. So it seems like a very nonchalant way to operate,
Nope,
which is
man.
great. Yeah. Which is a cool thing about parks on the air, because you can do whatever you want to. Just go to the park and operate. That's it.
Yeah, whenever it works for you. It is. And I thought about it the other day. It's really just an excuse, to get out if you can, but you don't have to go out. You can be in your shack. You can be anywhere you want to. You can run 1,500 watts. I don't care. Do what you like, but just get on the air. A lot of us, we talk about radio a lot on our different shows and with YouTube, and it's another thing to do it. It's important that we do it too. So it's just an excuse. And I tell my wife, it's been on the calendar for months. I got to do it.
My wife and I, we go back and forth on that a lot. We're like, she'll tell me something. She goes, that's that day. I was like, not on the calendar. Sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. I told you about, I'm sure you did tell me about it. Not on the calendar.
Sounds really fun, but I can't.
Yeah. Sorry.
So sad. I just can't do that.
But
I'll probably start Thursday night in the shack, and then Friday after work, I'll be out hopefully earlier.
Yeah.
But Friday I'll go set up something portable, maybe in the truck.
Okay.
And we'll just see. We'll just kind of see. It's just like that. I just ask that if you're going to enter for a prize, just make enough contacts to make it interesting, so we all have the same thing. What are you going to give away? You've got 50,000 people, and I heard I heard the radios and stuff, but tell me again.
Well, I haven't really announced it yet, so I think that might be when some people are here. If you'll notice about streaming, maybe you've experienced this, maybe not, but when you start, you kind of you start going, and it starts out at a small number watching, and then like only 5 or 10 minutes into it, it kind of gets to where it jumps up there, and that number that's pretty much where it's going to be for most of the stream. It might jump by 10 or 20 in either direction, a little bit. But once you're about 15, 20 minutes into it, you're kind of there. But sometimes, like what just happened now, we were at like 105, 110 for the first 30 minutes or so, and now we're at 162. So I wanted to wait until we had enough people watching us before I actually announced what it was. So, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, okay. So Christian brought it up. By the way, thank you for all the super chats. I'm seeing those go by. Wayne Johnson, Etho, Andy Cowley, Dale Neese, and several from earlier. David Bernstad. Thank you for those. Frank is writing those down and putting those in a list. We will be doing a drawing for a free t-shirt from the shop.hamradio2.com merch site at the end of this stream. So thank you for those super chats. I didn't want that to go unnoticed. Also, Joshua from the Ham Radio Crash Course was in there earlier, and he said that I saw his comment fly by. He said about we're looking at, for our next operating event, we're looking at spring of I guess next year, spring of 2021. Yeah. I almost said 2012, and I'm like, that's not right. So spring of 2021 is what they're looking at. They don't have anything defined yet, but again, it's all going to depend on COVID. So, so great. Okay, so let me take this off. There. And this is what I'm going to be giving away.
No.
Yeah. I'm giving away a brand. Actually, not this one. This one's mine. This one is mine. This is my IC705. For those of you who don't know what an IC705 is. If you don't know what an IC705 is, seriously, go out and watch Ham Radio Crash Course. He's only done about 975 videos on it. So lots of questions asked, lots of good information, deep dive through the radio. This is ICOM's new radio. Got this from RNL Electronics. He is filling orders right now. I ordered this from him back in February at Hamcation this year. So so I sent him a message and I said, Roger, how many are you backed up? how many orders do you have and how many did you get? And he told me, he asked me not to share that number, but he's like, we're filling orders as fast as we can. We don't have enough yet because our initial order didn't get in, and we're filling this and filling this. He goes, if you want, I said, I'm thinking about giving another one away on my show. And he said, okay, but I got to fill my orders first. I'm like, yeah, do that. Because this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. We weren't quite to 50,000 subs yet anyway. So I said, do that. And whenever, put me on the back of the list. Fill all your orders first. Put me on the back of the list and let me know when that might be. So whenever that is, we're going to be doing the drawing 2 weeks from now. You will get a drop shipped, brand new in a box ICOM IC705 from RNL Electronics. You do have to have a valid amateur radio call sign to win, and you do have to be in the United States to win, unfortunately. That's just due to shipping requirements and import duty fees and that kind of stuff. But yes, ICOM IC705 will be the grand prize. Roger himself is donating 2 of these Nano VNA SAA2N kits. These are really fun. They are an antenna analyzer, or a network analyzer kit with a bunch of N connectors for jumper N connectors. Same thing as the SAA2 kit, except the N kit comes with jumpers for N connectors. So you can do a lot higher frequency coaxes and connections to different radios with some of your UHF and higher UHF band stuff. So he's gonna give away 2 of these. 2 winners will get one of each of these. We will also have tornadoalert.com is going to give us, going to donate and drop ship a tornado alert device. And that will be donated to a 4th winner. So we got the 705, 2 winners for the Nano VNA, the tornado alert. We'll go to the 4th winner. And then these ICOM swag packs, which you've probably seen on Josh's channel. I got this. That's what you need on top of the mountain right there.
Nice.
But that's an ICOM Be Active lantern, and I think they call this hat there's a name for this hat. I don't know what kind of hat this is. The kind of the hat type this is. I don't know what this is, but I want to call it a beanie, but I don't think that's right. I don't know what that is. Hat and a shirt, and an ICOM QRP crew shirt. So these are kits, the lantern, the shirt, and the hat. I've got about 15 or 16 of those. And so 16 different people will win the kit and get all 3 of those items in a kit and be sent that way. So, Frank, you can go ahead and share that URL now. He's got it in there. It's hamradio2.com/50K. So 50K. And go out there, sign up. Everybody gets 1 entry. It's going to be very even. What I'll probably do is pick all of the smaller stuff first. I'll pick the Nano VNAs first and pick the Tornado Alert. And everybody will be entered into a chance to win the IC705. So that'll be done 2 weeks from tonight. 2 weeks from tonight, we'll have a drawing for a brand new IC705. And by then, I should have a better idea of when the ship date might be by then. So we want to make sure we're not going to be upfront about that because he is filling all of his orders. If you placed an order for 705 at RNL prior to today, then you will get your radio before I'm able to send out this radio that we're going to be giving away. So a boonie hat, Frank said. Boonie hat. Okay, so that's what this is called, is a boonie hat. I knew there was a name for it like that. Beanie is what I was thinking, but I knew that was wrong. So a boonie hat. There you go. This is actually pretty cool. I wore this to out to my hunting lease a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, this keeps your head cool and shaded at the same time. It's kind of fun. So there you go. We're giving away an IC705, and that's going to be a fun stream. So really excited to see what kind of chaos gets created over that one. So, do
you think it'll be a game changer? I saw your video and you gave a thumbs. I was like, oh no, because I'm thinking about popping on this radio. You know, I don't know, and I'm looking around and who loves it, and who doesn't.
Right. I caught some flack over that from multiple sources. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about that. The reason that I recorded that video if you watch the video is only about 9 minutes long, is
Yeah,
because
and I got it. You were all
Right.
about got to know what you're getting if you
Right.
don't.
Yeah, because I had a lot of people emailing me and saying, "Dude, I just got my." So here's a long story made very short. Okay, people in April of this year, when all the lockdowns started in the USA, pretty much in April, some give or take a month. Okay, in Texas it was in April. Okay, when all these lockdowns started in the USA, people who had been wanting to get their amateur radio license and hadn't done it because of time or because online testing wasn't a thing until Ham Study took the reins and ran with it when all the lockdowns started. Ham Study, those guys over at hamstudy.org have done a fantastic job of getting online testing to become a reality just in the last few months. So when all of that happened, amateur radio saw a huge surge in new hams getting into the hobby for whatever reason, for various reasons, okay? When that happened, you got all these new guys seeing this ICOM IC705 that's been talked about for literally like 10 months. They're like, oh, that's the new hot thing. That's what I want. I'm going to get one for my car. I'm going to put one in my shack. I'm going to get this. I want to move it back and forth. And I'm like, you realize it's QRP, right? And they're like, what does that mean? Okay, so that's why I recorded the video. That's a very shortened version of why I recorded that video. So, great radio.
I'm sorry, I brought it up.
No, it's okay. It's all right. So I've been asked that a bunch of times. So, no, it's
at the end, and it's about knowing the radio and
right.
what it's going to do for you and what your goals are. Yeah,
correct. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a game changer. There's a couple of drawbacks to it, such as no internal tuner. And the battery for it is good. The battery's good. It charges quickly via a 12-volt charge, which it comes with this cable with bare ends on the end that you can put power poles or whatever on, plug it into your power supply, or I guess straight into a battery. It didn't come with it comes with the HT battery, I think, from an ID51 battery, I think. Maybe an ID31 battery. I can't remember which one it is right now. But it didn't come with a way to charge the battery off of the radio. I thought that was a little bit strange. Not a deal breaker, but I just thought that was a little bit strange. But with everything this radio does, yeah, I think people who are I think ICOM fans are going to love it. And I think if you're thinking about doing ICOM, if you're wanting to get into QRP and do stuff like that, I think it's going to be, it does a lot of stuff. It does a whole lot of stuff. And there's already several people out there that have done, how to connect it to an amp and work, full power with it and whatnot. So that's all good.
And I think that, you can put a tuner in your bag too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they don't make them so small, it's not that much weight to carry a cable and a tuner if you need it.
Yeah.
If you need it.
Somebody said the link didn't work, and
really, even on the fence, I kind of want one now. And I forgot to call. I think it's K0MD Scott Wright, who is doing great work with COVID and the plasma and all that stuff. If you haven't, I don't know if you got to catch his with the QSO Today virtual thing. He spoke at that, and he's a heart doctor and a ham.
Yeah.
He wrote a review about that radio, and I was like, wow, man! Like, I've been seeing all this great stuff, but he's got towers, and he's a contest guy.
Okay.
1,500 watts, and he wrote some really great things about that. It's on eHams. I think his call sign's K0MD Scott Wright.
Okay. I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, I know who. I don't know him, but I know who you're talking about.
For a guy who loves his watts and power and contesting to say what he said about that radio right there, it made me like go, wow, because that's a big convert. If you're in the power and big sticks and tower, he's a big gun, man. So
yeah.
It meant a little more to me coming from his review of it, that he even took the time. But his work alone, that guy's doing this great work for COVID and plasma and humanity.
Good.
He's on a different level, man.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Review.
Somebody who's smarter than I am, for sure.
All of us together.
Sheesh, yeah. Sheesh.
Big brain. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, hey, I hope now that you've stepped back into the realm of video, or maybe stepped into it, I should say. I hope you will join us on some YouTubers Bunch episodes, which you've been on before.
Yeah, last November. It's been a while.
Yeah.
And the COVID and all this stuff, and
right.
Around here, it's we're trying to keep the kids in some state of normal, because
Yeah.
it's crazy, and we're lucky enough to live in the country so we can get outside and do things. I grew up in a city where everything was a row home. I'm from Baltimore,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're lucky enough that they can get out, but keeping things sort of normal, pardon
Mm-hmm.
me, is that it was a real goal with school changing. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I've been I check in on you guys and get
Mhm.
around as much as I can, but
Mhm.
it's been since November. Hard to believe. Love to come back and chat with you guys.
Love to have you for sure. Yeah, definitely.
And
Really.
come on my show and we'll figure out something to talk about. See how this is what it is. I just ask you questions and pick your brain.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, we've done YouTubers Bunch episodes basically for about since June of last year, so just
Mhm.
over a year, 15 months, something like that. And generally we were trying to do 2 a month there for a while, and we kind of slowed down to 1 a month. But some of the best feedback we've had is on the episodes where it's not really structured. We just kind of get on there and rag chew about ham radio in general for 30 to 45 minutes. It's been some of the best feedback we've had from comments from some of the viewers. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all in my opinion.
Well, congratulations to you. That's
Thank
such a
you.
milestone. What are you going to do? Oh, here I am asking you another question. I
That's all
know
right.
you're taking it home. I'm like, so what's your next goals? I mean, you hit a big plateau now, and what are you looking to do with your channel?
Well, I mean, shoot, I'm not 50,000 subscribers is a great place to be. When 2020 started, I never thought I'd be here. The fact that everybody's stuck at home and watching YouTube has been a great
Mhm.
shot in the arm for everybody on YouTube, not just ham radio, but a lot of other YouTube guys I know outside of it in other niches have said the same thing. So never really thought I'd be here so soon. So I'm gonna push forward to 100,000, get that platinum play button from YouTube, or not platinum, silver play button. Platinum's like 10 million. I'll get there one day. No,
Yeah.
the 100,000 silver play button is probably gonna be my next thing. But you know what? It's fun to talk about that, and it's fun to look at those numbers, and it's fun to watch those analytics on your channel. I'm sure you watch your analytics on your podcast as well. um but I the and I've said this before, the reason I do what I do is to educate the new person about ham radio, and to educate the person who's maybe not new, but maybe new to DMR, or new to POTA, or new to something, inside of amateur radio. Just, say, because I get people coming on the channel all the time saying, okay, I'm sorry, this is a stupid question, but, and then they'll ask something. And I'm like, dude, that's not a stupid question. The only stupid question is the one that goes unasked, in my opinion. There's no stupid question. The reason that I'm here, the reason that I know you do what you do, I know if I were to ask 99% of all the YouTubers out there that I talk to on a regular basis, why do you do this? You do this to educate people about ham radio, get the word out about ham radio. So there are no stupid questions. That's why we're here. We're here to answer questions and do what you want to do. So, you know what? If I have several people come to me and say, "Hey, we got our technician license and got our general upgrade due to the class you streamed last weekend," that's what makes it worthwhile to me. So that I just want
Dude,
just
that's
want
a great
yeah.
service that you're doing.
Mhm.
I checked in several times yesterday. I was like, this dude's streaming like all day long. I was in and
Yeah.
out, and then I'm
Mhm.
getting wrapped up in it
Yeah.
because it's a really good refresher.
Mhm. Yeah.
And to your point, I mentioned earlier in your show that I felt like I was leaning on the same few people too much.
Mhm.
5 years down the road, I don't think they mind at all. And I don't think
Mhm.
any of us who've been in it for a while mind at all
Yeah.
answering these questions. And frankly, it's an honor.
Right.
I can't always answer these questions, but the fact that you came to me asking me, that's something, because I was in that position
Mhm.
and I felt a certain way about it.
Mhm.
It led to this,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
I felt like I was maybe asking too much of people and that I was a pain,
Yeah.
frankly. But you're not. I
No.
think the longer you're in it,
Mhm.
you've got a place to go, and there's so many people that you can ask.
Right.
So just keep asking.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And most times, if we can't answer it, we know somebody who can. Because
Right.
we've been asking questions all this
Right.
time too.
And I get a lot of new ideas for. I'm like, somebody will ask this question. I'm like, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Then somebody will ask something that's very similar, and I'm like, I need to do an episode that answers that question, but I got to learn what it is first. I was talking about learning earlier. So I'm like, a lot of the episodes I've, especially this year since the whole COVID thing happened, a lot of the episodes I've put up are because people have said, how do you do this? Or what do you think about this radio? Or how would you compare this radio to this radio? Or what's the best radio under this price point? Or something like that, And I'm just like, you got enough people asking, that's room for video content right there in my book.
This thing right here, I don't want to keep you, but this thing, it's a little dusty now, but this thing to get on D-Star. Well, Josh had a video about this in his arsenal of videos. He had this, and to build the case and the whole thing. And I was like overwhelmed. I was like, I don't know. And I found a video on it, and that's how I learned. And then John Amadeo helped me program my radio so I could work D-Star. So it's a great hobby and a service, and there's so many facets and layers to it.
Totally.
And I think that there's room enough for all of us.
Yes.
At some point we cross over. Our audiences all cross over anyway.
Yeah.
So I admire what you guys are doing as you're pulling people up. I sent you that email. And I checked in on the YouTubers, and I was like, never seen that guy before. It is. So you're pulling them up with you, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
Good for you, and congratulations. I won't keep you. I know you got stuff to do. But.
Yeah, that's all right, man. Tell us, hey, before you go, your podcast, you have a new episode on your podcast premiere every other week on what day?
Now it's getting more because what is I'm streaming, and I've kind of fallen for this streaming deal.
Okay.
And so I'm breaking up the stream into like 2 pieces of audio. So now I'm streaming weekly again. I had streamed weekly up until about October of last year when things started to get really busy for me, and I put it down. And it didn't affect like sponsorship or anything like that, because I see people who get in the game and they get a sponsor and they feel like, oh man, now I've got to bang it out. And then you can get into content where it's not really sharp if you're just sort of doing it because you're obligated to. Yeah. And I was like, none of this will change if I pull back a little bit. So I went to every other week. Now that I'm streaming, and I'm finding Saturday mornings, not to go, because you were streaming yesterday too. I think there's something.
Yeah, but that's just a one-time thing. I don't normally do that.
There's something to be said about programming, but I think people will watch your stream live, and then they'll catch it in post later. So you know, it's just kind of like do it. And I've been doing it Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock just because it works out before my kids start coming and jumping on me. Yeah. And I'm finding it's really fun, and I don't have to edit as much. I'm telling you so much. Right. But the video editing takes me a lot of time, you know, and the stream, I might push the wrong button, but you'll forgive me for that. And I won't do everything, you know, and package it. Yeah. And pull the audio off. And you can get it on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And I know that that was the bread and butter for sure. I mean, there was the people are there, and there was some, hey, what are you doing? What do you mean this YouTube? Because people listen to podcasts so much differently. It's when they're on a plane, or they're traveling, or they're cutting the grass. Right. And they may listen to what I did yesterday next weekend. Right. You know, but so now that the stream is kind of addictive, I'm doing it on Saturday mornings, and I'll just keep putting them back out on a regular. And I'm having fun. I think that's the part of it. I wasn't getting burnt out, and I don't beat myself up over content. It kind of just comes out. Yeah, it's coming out. It's kind of irreverent in a lot of ways, but I was starting to feel like I needed a little something. You know, I needed to do a little something different. So the video and the YouTube channel put a little wind in my sails to like, it's not to catch the big call. You guys are gone. I have to wait for you to come back. I can't catch you. Yeah. But so it's not about that. It's just that it's really fun and different. Yeah. and there's some other cool people doing it too. So it's
Mhm.
it's a lot of fun.
Good. Well, I look forward to it. So I'm going to put you on my schedule for Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Are you Eastern time?
Like you, Central, just like you.
Central.
I'm
Just
up
okay.
just north of St. Louis in Missouri, so
That's right.
we're
You
in.
said that. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
But you can come on. We bring you on, and we'll just talk.
Okay.
And all the fellas, you can introduce me to the guys because you really
Sure.
do have a lot of new faces that I
Yeah.
haven't seen.
Yeah.
And they seem to be doing great. So
Yeah, it's awesome.
good
Yeah.
on you for putting them over like that.
We've had fun with it. Have met a lot of really new people, or really good people that are new to the, not necessarily new to ham radio, but new to YouTube and new to sharing content. And it's kind of one of those things where we want to help people create more content. And we've done some. Sterling wrote a blog post, and Josh did a video about how we need more content creators for ham radio, because there's still people in the world that don't know what ham radio is. It seems to you and I, it's an everyday thing, but it's not like that to everybody. So it's always good to educate people where you can. So, hey, man, really appreciate you being here tonight. I know this is your regular HF night for 100 Watts and Wire HF night, I think it is.
Yeah, they're on tonight. I'm not gonna pull anybody off your show, but they're running on 40 meters tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, they're on 7280, I think.
72. Okay, there you go.
But
Cool.
that's another opportunity to get on the air. There's a lot of folks, and you've met them too, who are a little mic shy.
Yeah.
And you put a microphone in front of them, or just calling CQ a net that's friendly will give you a chance to meet somebody who's cool with you.
Right.
Being a little shy.
Yeah, totally.
So
totally.
Hey man, thank you.
Yeah,
and
thanks a lot, Christian.
On a Saturday, and I really thank you for having me, and thanks to all your viewers and subscribers.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a fun time. Really appreciate you being here tonight, man, and good luck with it. We will catch up. We'll get you back on the YouTubers bunch, and I'd love to come on your show and just talk about whatever.
Done.
Okay.
Done. Thank you. 73, everybody.
Thanks. All right, 73. Have a good one, man.
You too.
All right, and there's that. Okay, guys. Did everyone? I saw some chatter going back in the chat about the link we shared. Did everyone? Was everyone able to get to that sign up link? It should. Let's see. Pull Frank back in. Let's do a little bit. Yeah, that's what it should look like right there. Let me see if I can pull up a web page. Zoom window. Browser. That right there. This is what it should look like right here. So hamradio2.com/50K, not 50K. 50K as in 50K.
Did I do that wrong?
I don't know. I just saw.
I think mine was right. Sorry,
Okay.
I think mine was right.
Okay.
YouTube didn't like it the first time because there was no HTTP in it.
Oh,
so it
okay.
didn't register it as a
maybe
link.
Maybe that's why it was. Oops, that's not really what I meant to show. That's what I meant to show right there.
But here it is one more time in the chat.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And we got a question for Christian's channel. It is.
Yeah, it's yeah, you can share. Yeah, that's his YouTube channel. It's also in the YouTube description below. So if you're watching from the phone, you have to click on the down arrow. If you're watching from a browser, click on show more, and it's right there at the very top of this episode.
We did have one question from the chat. It was during his event that he was talking about on his website.
Yeah.
Do you just have to get out there during the same time frame and operate and log your contacts on the website, or is there something else?
You just get out there and just kind of say that you're 100 watts and wire fallout, that kind of thing. If you have a 100 watts and wire ID, you can make that part of the exchange. But he said that's not necessary, because I told him before we started the stream, I was like, well, I don't have an ID. I never went and got an ID. He's like, well, you don't need that. If you have it, then use it. But if not, don't worry about it. So you just it's just a matter of keeping a log and submitting it after the event is done, is basically all it is.
Cool.
So
sounds like fun. Michael BK6MMB does ask about the 50,000 subscriber giveaway. Do you have to be a U.S. citizen to count?
You do a U.S. citizen? No, you just
Not a citizen. I mean, within to have a U.S. address.
yes, yeah. The 705 can only be shipped inside of the USA. Hawaii and Alaska are fine, but yeah, it can only be shipped inside of the USA.
Then other chats I pulled out here. Chad took his technician test October 1st and passed. Welcome to the amateur radio
Awesome.
group, and
Very good.
look forward to seeing a call sign once it shows up in the database there.
Totally. Yeah. Cool.
And then Kevin says he's taking his test this coming Saturday.
Good. Excellent job there too. So, okay.
Then I had a bunch of congratulations on getting to 50,000, Jason. I think almost everyone in the channel said it at least once.
Yeah, I saw that. It was flying by rather quickly, but I did see that. So thank you. Those of you who I'll say this part again real quick. Those of you who were not here in the very beginning, YouTube is being weird. It's not a big deal. But I actually broke 50,000 Thursday night. I was around Thursday night before I went to bed. I was around 49,600. When I got up Friday morning, it was at almost 50,600. Went up by 1,000 overnight. So I'm like, that's cool, but I don't know what that was about. So it spent the rest of the day, and it went up, a couple hundred more during the day on Friday. And then I get up Saturday morning, and Friday night it was around 50,700. I get up Saturday morning, and it's around 50,400. So it dropped down by about 300 subs over Friday night. And then it kind of raised up back up a little bit by itself all day Saturday. And then I get up this morning, Sunday, and it dropped back down to like 49,700. And now it's at like 49,850.
Interesting. I wonder if they ran something to verify or pull. I don't know.
I thought that 1,000 bump overnight was very strange. So I don't know if that was some kind of snafu somewhere and they corrected. I don't know. But you know what? It'll get there. I was hoping it would get there by today because at this time, it's been going up between 600 and 700 by itself naturally for weeks, since like last summer sometime, or since this past summer for several months. So I thought it might actually break 50 by Sunday, but it without a whole bump up and down, it didn't. We're about 150 away from 50 right now. So it'll get there before we do the drawing, and I'll be happy. So it's all good. It's just the joys of YouTube. You never can say.
And I have some more nitpicking. How about? Oh, where did it go? Sorry, I clicked off of the tab here. What about Puerto Rico and America Samoa?
I will have to check on that. Puerto Rico, I'm pretty sure is good because Puerto Rico USPS mail will go to Puerto Rico, which it won't be sent via USPS mail. It'll probably be sent via FedEx. But if it's like a U.S. territory, you should be good to go. I'll double check on that and see. Darren is asking, this is a good question. When is the cutoff date for entering? I intend to test for technician this week. Would like to enter with a legit call sign. So good question. I'll probably cut it off Saturday night before 2 weeks from today. So in other words, that's going to be like, I think that's the 17th. Yes. Yeah, the 17th. Probably late that night, maybe like midnight on the 17th Central Time. Somewhere around there. I'll be posting it on Facebook, on Twitter. I'll be posting it on my YouTube community tab. I'll send it out to my own email list. If you're not on my email list, go to hamradio2.com/email-sign up. So I'll be submitting it on my email list and sharing it multiple places. We're going to do lunchtime live streams this week and next week. I'll talk about it there. So we'll have plenty of opportunity to talk about it between now and then.
More rules nitpick here. Don asks, can you enter more than once?
No, you can't. No, everybody gets one entry. Yeah, everybody gets one entry. Go to that form, hamradio2.com slash, what do we, 50K, 50K, and everybody gets one entry. So just want to, it's just easier that way, just to kind of make it easier.
I saw an interesting question about amateur radio in general here. Wayne asks, the Kenwood says it's UHF, VHF, all modes. What is that for?
The Kenwood? Is that what you said,
all
Frank?
All modes. On the Kenwood, there's a Kenwood UHF, VHF that says it's all modes. I did not get the model.
Okay, I don't know what radio you're talking about, but all mode means it will do AM, FM, single sideband, CW, and maybe some kind of digital mode, depending on what band or what model you're talking about. In other words, it's not just an FM radio. Okay, you can get Kenwood dual band FM radio, such as a TM V71A, TM D710G. I think that's right. And these are dual band 2-meter 440 FM only radios. Okay, when you have an all mode radio, that means it'll do sideband and CW, and you can get on 2-meter sideband, which is incredibly fun. If you've never done 2-meter sidebands, it's very fun to do. So sideband is the primary voice mode on HF. You can use that same voice mode on VHF and UHF. In fact, there's contests for 50 megahertz and up 50 megahertz and up contests that you can use FM, but you want to use sideband in those contests because it's farther reaching, make more contacts. So all mode means it'll do more than just FM. Depending on what model it is, it might have different upper and lower sideband. It might have AM. It might have something else.
Robert says he just passed his general test on September 27th. So congratulations. And Good Game says he's going to make sure his wife and child enter the contest too.
I saw that. Hey, they've got valid call. His wife and Jerica, they've got valid call signs. Go for it. Go for it, buddy. Awesome.
So did you inverse my video, or
you're still back? You're still backwards on my screen.
On the Zoom window, it looks correct.
No, you're still backwards.
No, but in YouTube, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I looked a little bit, but I don't know.
I'm capturing the Zoom window on my side, and I'm sending whatever Zoom is sending me. I'm sending it there.
I wonder if Zoom can do that. Hold on. Zoom settings.
Zoom will
mirror my video.
Yeah, but that's only to you. It's not going to change on. Did you change it?
I changed it.
Nothing changed here. There's something in in either OBS or you're using your Canon.
I'm using the Canon, but it's mounted upside down, but that's just rotating the video.
Yeah, there's something in there needs to change. I don't know what it is. I don't use that setup in that camera, but there's something in there that it's feeding Zoom a backwards image. Not a big deal. Yeah. If you weren't wearing that shirt, I wouldn't have even noticed.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay, guys. Let's see. She hasn't let me borrow the G90 yet for a solo POTA. It's funny. Hey guys, Josh and Dale are both saying backwards here. Frank is backwards. Y'all just got to get used to that. That's just. I've been telling y'all that for like a year now. This is just how it is. But no, there's something wonky in his webcam setup.
It's jumping like 3 times for the video, so we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's not a big deal, like I said. Is that an exercise machine near the door? No, that's his antenna.
Where?
I guess he's talking about that tape measure antenna behind you.
Yeah.
I assume he's talking about that. That's a
tape measure antenna, and then I have a bipod or tripod.
That's just a tripod, yeah. So, yeah. So, hey, Dan's in the chat. Dan Burek, check this out, dude. I don't know how long you've been here. So, let's see. Good deal. Okay, let's do a drawing, Frank. How many names do we have?
We have 29.
29. Wow.
Yes.
Holy cow, you guys are great tonight. Look at that. Okay. Okay, do you mind just reading them? Just read them from 1 to 29.
If you check your email real fast, I shared the link out to you.
Okay, let me do that. Then I can pull it up there. That'd be
because I'd rather you butcher the names than I.
Okay. Let's see. Giveaway. Open sheets. There we go. 29. Okay, there we go. Excellent. Okay, so Don Izzo, Peter B, Hayden, Ham Radio DX, Mike N8YO, Patrick Grundle, Don N5SKT, Kevin Duffy, Oklahoma Ham Radio, Darren W8NGT, Darren and then W8NGT, Guy Actual, Biscuit, T-Man, Philip W0RHP, Clark, Michael VK6MMB, Tim O'Boyle, David Bernstad, Dale Neese, Andy Cowley, Etho or ETHO. That looks like, are you a Linux guy? Looks like Ethernet 0. Wayne Johnson, Steve K04AFL, Rail, Dan Burrick, Don Deagidio, W8KJR, Sam Hancock, and Foster Bass. Those are the ones we have. So, yes, even Clark says you're backwards. So
I know, right? Jesus.
Yeah. Jeff, Patreon. Patreon gets special perks. We're going to read the Patreon folks here in just a second. Patreon links are in the... If you'd rather do Subscribe Star, that's cool, but Patreon, I've been there longer. I've got more stuff on, more able to give the patrons more stuff than I can in the other one.
Well, I think he was asking which one you get more money from.
They're the same.
They're the same?
They're the same. Okay, so Christian's in the chat, and he said, it looks like the link is broken in the description. You're correct. That probably happened when I changed streams. So let me pull that up real quick. I'll fix that on the back end, Christian. When I end the video, I'll go back and edit the description. 100 watts and a wire on YouTube right there. Okay. So here's
a great stream, 167.
I know it. So there's a link to Christian's YouTube channel. So he's only got about 460. I think he had 440 subscribers before I brought him into Zoom this evening, because I went and looked. I was like, I wonder. So it's at 465 right now. So 25 of you have been quite generous. Go out there and subscribe to Christian's channel, please.
And my shirt says Procrastination University, train tomorrow's readers tomorrow. Or maybe the day after that.
Or maybe. Okay, let's do a random number generator. Let me get here and there. Random number generator. I'm gonna go there. Yep. Okay, so 1 to 29 right there. All right, so one winner tonight will win whatever t-shirt you want from shop.hamradio2.com. If you'd rather have a beer glass or a hat, that's fine too. Just basically anything that's up there. That's merchandise, not an Ed Fong antenna. But which I have those up there now. Ed Fong antennas are back up there now. People were asking me to put those back up because I had it on the old site. So, okay. Generate one number between 1 and 29. 6. 6 is
Don, N5SKT.
N5SKT, Don. He won one the other day. Don, let me know if you want that, or if you want me to do a re-giveaway. It's up to you, brother. If you want it, it's yours. He won one the other day. He ordered one of these QRO shirts, actually. So,
nice.
Yeah.
So what do we have coming up here on Monday Night Radio?
We're gonna do. Oh yes, okay, good. Thank you for reminding me about that. Tomorrow is Monday Night Ham Radio.
That was not a forced segue.
No, that's okay. That's okay. No, that's. I asked you to remind me about that earlier. Tomorrow for Monday Night Ham Radio. Okay, Dawn says pass it on. We're going to do, I'm going to draw another number here in a second. Tomorrow for Monday Night Ham Radio, we got together, a bunch of the YouTubers and I, and got together. I think this was Kyle's idea. Kyle, AA0Z, who just showed up in the chat and said first. He's an hour and a half late, but he's first. He said, why don't we do a shack tour? Do a workbench tour or a shack tour, whichever one you choose, of your setup, where you're set up doing radio, where you're set up doing YouTube, whatever. So I did a whole ham shack tour as my part. But we've got 8 or 9 of us going up there and doing that tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, Steve temporarily offline starts us at 5 p.m. Central. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different videos between 5 and 8 p.m. Central. Most of them are about 15 minutes long or a little bit shorter, of shack or workbench tours from all over the place. A bunch of different YouTubers. Frank's going to have his first video premiere tomorrow night.
Yes, I am.
So Tank Radio will have his first video premiere tomorrow night. So Monday Night Ham Radio, let me pull that playlist up, and it is right there. This is the playlist starting tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, let me go back and pick another number because Don was gracious enough to, yeah, there you go. Don was gracious enough to let us redraw his winning. So I'm going to switch back over here and go there. I don't like the way that chat looks in that window, but I'll fix that later. Okay. So 1 to 29. That is not number 6. I'm going to click it. 14. Who's 14,
14
Frank?
is Philip, W0RHP.
Okay, Philip, congratulations, sir. Philip's in the chat quite regularly. And thanks for being here, Philip. Let me know. Shoot me an email or hit me up you're on Discord. Shoot me an email or hit me up on Discord, whichever way you want. And let me know what you want and what your mailing address is. So I could find you. I've got your call sign. I could find you on QRZ if I want, if I need to. So Tank forgot the apostrophe. Oh, there goes Steve with his English grammar.
Come on.
Yeah. What's on the Tank's work? But yeah, you forgot 2 apostrophes actually.
I give up. So, I'm not redoing it. It's too late.
No, I wouldn't either. It's all right. Okay, guys. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. Definitely go sign up for the drawing. It's going to be fun to give away an ICOM IC705. That's going to be fun to do. So, it is my way. I am purchasing this radio. Okay, this is not being donated. I'm getting it from RNL. I got this radio here from RNL. I suggest you go to RNL and get one yourself if you want it. I am purchasing the radio from RNL and doing it as a giveaway, as an appreciation and thank you to you guys, the subscribers and participators in the chats and the live stream chats, and all of you who make this channel possible, who keep coming back and participating in the premiere chats twice a week and the live streams twice a month, and the comments on all the videos that I post, which means a lot to me. It really does. It means quite a lot to me. So I really appreciate everyone being here. Frank, I'm going to take you off the screen.
Sounds good.
Really appreciate everyone being here, and appreciate you guys allowing me to let this channel grow to the way it was. So I wanted to do something pretty big for 50,000 subscribers, because to me that's a big number. Like I said, I never thought I would be here now. I thought, yeah, maybe next year, we'll see. At the beginning of this year I had 29,000 subscribers, so I've almost doubled that number since January of 2020. So really, really, really awesome. I love doing YouTube. I love doing this stuff. I love learning more and teaching more and audience interaction, and I love just everything about it, and I am not going to stop, and I'm going to keep going more. So this is going to do This is going to be a big giveaway, I think, just because the radio's so new. The radio's so new. It's been talked about for a long, long time. We should have seen it at Dayton Hamvention of 2020 in May of this year, but that never happened due to COVID. The whole Hamfest never happened due to COVID. And then the radio was pushed back because production on everything was pushed back because of that. So, so I'm really excited to see who wins this radio. So, okay. Special thanks to the YouTube channel members at the bottom. I got to fix that. At the bottom of this video and most of my other videos, you can see a join button. If you click on join, it'll let you choose from 3 different monetary values. You don't have to do this. This is your choice. If you click on join, you see some people in the chat like Kenneth and Philip who have their names in color in green. Those are channel members. People who are channel members pick a monetary value to donate to the channel once a month, starting at $1.99 and going up from there. There's 3 different levels. And with that, you get early access to all the videos on the channel. So when I post something, when I post a new video up, usually 1.5 or so, between 1 and 2 weeks in advance, I share it to my patrons and I share it to my channel members. Channel members get access to that just like patrons do. And they help make the channel grow also. So thank you to those who are channel members, which includes Donna, Lovejoy, Gary, KE4, KHZ, some of the newest ones. Let's see, Spice Pumpkin, Chester, Darren, Wilson, Brian, Judy, Dale, Timothy, Frederick, and Burr Bass. These are people's YouTube channel names, or YouTube account names, I should say. So it's all great, all good stuff. Also included in that, the people who make it the most, put the most time and effort into it are the patrons. A lot of the patrons are generous in multiple ways. And I'm gonna start doing something else with the Patreon guys. I'm probably gonna start doing a monthly Zoom call. It's a private Zoom call, and I'll record that Zoom call and I'll post it to Patreon and share it only to Patreon subscribers. We're just gonna get together and talk about where you'd like to see the channel go, what kind of topics you'd like to see, what kind of questions you'd like answered, kind of drive it in that direction, and do stuff like that. I was doing a newsletter earlier this year, and I couldn't really figure out how to do that very well because I have an email list going already. I've had an email list going for years and years, so I couldn't really make it be that much different than the email list that was already there, that I already send emails to. So I want to do something a little bit extra special for the patrons. So we're probably going to do a Zoom call starting, if not November, or if not this month or November, something like that, then definitely by the first of the year. And do a monthly Zoom call with patrons. But the patrons of the second and third tier, David Byrne, Kevin Adams, Richard Bueller, not sure I'm saying your name right, Richard, Dan Gabrielson, Park Cities Amateur Radio Club, Christopher Wiggins, Rob Matheson, Michael, Andy Callie, Greg Roeder, Mike Adams, Todd Agostini, Robert Lyons, Craig Boyer, Dennis G, Oof Radio, Richard Schwartz, Lewis Klein, Robert Bretzman, Randall Hensley, Hawk Bennett, James Dowis, Paul Sweeney, LNX Guy, Bill Brady, David Kettrick, and Mike in Texas. Thank you very much to all of you for supporting the channel. Patreon.com/ham radio. You can find their stuff that's, again, all the videos are shared there early for you to go watch, comment on, remark, whatever. You can comment on the video on YouTube, which only you can see, or you can comment on Patreon as well. So T-Man just joined into the channel membership. Thank you very much for your support there, sir. I've got something in store for the YouTube channel members also. I'm working on something else. So you guys are YouTube channel members. I don't want y'all to feel left out because it's not really possible to. YouTube lets me do stuff to channel members that I can't do to patrons, and Patreon lets me do stuff over there that I can't do on YouTube. So it's kind of weird having people in 2 places, but that is how it is. So 73 to everybody. Thank you very much for your support once again. I really enjoy this stream, this this live chat interaction and sitting down in front of the camera and watching the chat and being able to interact with you guys. This is one of the reasons that I live stream. As I said before, we're going to start live streaming every Sunday starting in 2021. So probably going to stick with the first and third Sunday of the month for the rest of the year. It's not going to affect my deer season hunting, because I was worried about that for a little bit. but it's not. But I was looking at the dates the other day, and the dates fall correctly and allow me to go hunting on the first opening weekend of deer season, and then I'll have to, finagle the rest of the time, but it's not a big deal. So it's all good. So we've got Monday Night Ham Radio tomorrow night, and then next Friday, we're going to try something new next Friday. I'm inviting a bunch of the YouTubers and several other people as well onto the channel. We're going to fire up Zoom and click go live on the live stream. We're going to have a happy hour, 8 p.m. Friday night. This is something we've done in the past, and every time I do it, I have at least 2 or 3 people come by and say, man, you should do that more often. I don't need a reason to drink beer, but there you go. That's a good reason to drink beer. So we're going to do our first non-holiday and non-Hamfest happy hour on this channel live stream, 8 p.m. this coming Friday. So like 5 days from now. So be watching.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. Be watching for that.
To it.
Cool. Yeah. I hope you can be there, Frank. So be watching for that link that will be posted on the channel sometime later this week also. 73 to everybody. Congrats to Philip for winning the t-shirt. Be sure to go sign up for a chance to win the 705, one of the Nano VNAs, a Tornado Alert, or one of these ICOM swag packs.
Ooh. I still got to pick mine up.
I know it, yeah. I wonder does that show up? Because it's green.
Yeah.
It does. It's a different, yeah, no, it does.
Let the video catch up.
Yeah.
I see it perfectly fine. I don't know what everyone else is seeing. Okay.
Well, you've got a different camera on you, or you're seeing a different camera on me than what stream is showing, so. All right, guys, 73. Everyone have a really good evening. Have a good week, and hope to see you guys on the premiere chats tomorrow night for Monday Night Ham Radio Shack and Workbench tours from myself and several other YouTubers. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.